Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm audible to all of you. I would like to welcome you all to the Tech Talk session conducted by SolutionBuggy. And today we'll be looking at opportunities in the chemical sector. See, this sector has been very intense, like how we see the kind of projects that are coming to us or the kind of interest that is being generated from the entrepreneurs who want to get into these like specialty chemicals, agro and food based chemicals, or it could be construction chemicals, and chemicals where there is demand for production of these biofuels, biodiesels, ethanol, and green hydrogen. So all these sectors also require a lot of chemicals. So there is a general inquiry from the entrepreneurs as well as a good demand, which has mainly been generated because the government also has banned a lot of chemicals importing from China. And there are very good incentives from the Ministry of Petrochemicals, or it could be even from the MNRE, where incentives can range from anywhere between 50 lakhs to almost 4 crores. And overall, the demand has also picked up in the domestic market and in the export market, especially in the Middle East and Europe, for green chemicals. So, with that in mind, I think it was a very apt time to get some of the experts and pick their brains on what are the right kind of chemicals that somebody can look at, and what is the set of steps that they need to follow if they are interested to set up a manufacturing unit in the chemical industry. So today we have two sessions. The first 90 minutes we'll be looking at basically specialty and food-based chemicals, where we have two experts who will be walking us through different segments in these chemicals, basically introducing the chemicals and the manufacturing process, the product development and formulation, and in general as to how we can start these industries. Before I start, I would like to quickly introduce what is SolutionBuggy. Most of you might know. We are an online platform to connect the manufacturing industries to the experts. Today, I can proudly say that we are India's largest platform in the MSME sector, and we have more than 10,000 plus experts on the platform. We have done more than 3,100 plus projects over the last 6 years. And when I say projects, it could be anything from a one-day consulting assignment to all the way to setting up of industries, right from the concept to commercialization stage, which basically includes market research, product identification, detailed project report, machinery procurement, plant setup, commissioning, supply chain management, and even to some extent sales and marketing development as well. We're doing a lot of projects in this chemical sector, where we are looking at, like I said, a few few entrepreneurs who are setting up plants to supply to the biofuels industry, and a few supplying to the green hydrogen industry, and also a few who are in organic chemicals. So these are some of the projects that we are running. And just to introduce the today's session and the speakers, I am Guru Prasad Bangle, director and also one of the investors at SolutionBuggy. I have about 20 plus years of experience in consulting. I am a BA and MBA from IIM Bangalore. I handle new projects and project management at SolutionBuggy. Over the next 90 minutes, we have lined up two stellar speakers who will be throwing more light in this sector. So first, I have Mr. Vipul Kumtekar, who is an MSc in Polymer Science and has 18 plus years of experience in various chemical industries, having worked in MNCs as well as SMEs. His specialization is mainly into emulsions, additives, and specialty chemicals. He has experience in various applied chemical industries like polymers, coatings, textile, paper, home care, wood treatment, anti-rust chemicals, and has mostly managed R&D teams handling project activities, product operations, and has very good experience in product design and quality compliance, and also setting up of SOPs and manuals for operations. We welcome you, Mr. Vipul. Next, I have Mr. 𝐂𝐻𝐩𝐻𝐨𝐫𝐞. He'll be joining us in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Who is the founder and managing director of Farm to Fork Solutions. He has 15 plus years of experience in food processing setup, licensing for food, drug, and cosmetics and other chemical industries in India. He's worked with various MNCs like Reliance Retail and Godrej Agrovet. He has a food sciences degree from the Maratha University and an MSc from Punjab Agriculture University. He's also the vice president of AFSTI, which is the Association of Food Scientists and Technologists, the Mumbai chapter, and a fast track trainer for general manufacturing. We welcome Mr. Umesh. So, with that, I would want to call upon Mr. Vipul to share his knowledge on the specialty chemicals industry and also help the entrepreneurs who are there on this webinar today to understand how good this sector is and how they can set up an industry in that sector. Over to you, Mr. Vipul.
Thank you, Guru Prasad. I would like to welcome you to chemical manufacturing webinar. And first of all, warm greetings and very good morning. I would be speaking around 40 to 45 minutes on specialty chemicals. Just to give a brief background of what are the specialty chemicals and what are the current scenario in specialty chemicals. Yes. Initially, to introduce to a chemical industry, it's overall growing at a speed of 10 to 15% CAGR. But in specialty chemicals, currently it contributes around 22 to 25% among total chemical and petrochemical market, and projected to be 30% or 32% by 2025. And India's global market share is wavering around 3 to 4% from last 5 years, and it is expected to grow at to update at 6% and 7% by 2025-26 in a matter of 1 or 2 years. We are talking about specialty chemicals from last around 10 years. The demand is been growing for specialty chemicals is basically on the growth rate. Growth rate in terms of development of new smart cities, some underlying economic factors, expense power, modernization, infrastructure development, rail and road development projects, personalized vehicle uses. These are some of the factors that is driving us to look at some specialty chemicals. Difference between a specialty chemical and a commodity chemical is an exclusively niche product. Very much R&D and innovation is involved. It's a new era of product which is required by everyone, even a household to an MNC to industries. These specialty chemicals are very high value products, and it's an performance influencer. Mostly we say it's an proprietary product kind of products which are used by MNCs, Indian companies, also by household users for personal care and other uses. Why we are looking at specialty chemicals? It's because we are growing our consumptions. Currently, we are consuming around 5 to 6 kgs approximately per capita consumptions. In next 5 years, we will be expecting around 12 kgs to 15% roughly for per capita consumptions. In terms of specialty chemicals, the demand is been marketed by B2B kind of structure. Everyone is looking for B2B customer preferences, and we are moving to a new era of renewable resources, and even MNCs try to merge with Indian companies through this B2B channel. Greener solutions, everybody is talking right now. Use of renewable resources, recycling, low carbon footprint. Everyone is looking for these greener solutions. While in terms of money, we have spending capacity in improvements. We are improving ourselves in terms of technology, use of technology, and processing enhancements, and mega merger consolidation. It's like MNCs joining hands with Indian markets and Indian industries to enhance their footprint in the Indian market. And India is a very much resourceful in all types of conditions. And apart from China, it's in shifting towards India now. Current market of Indian specialty chemicals is around 60 to 65 billions, which is growing around 12.4% currently. Total Indian chemical market is around 300 billions, and by 2030 it will grow by approximately 500 billions, and specialty chemicals will be around 100 billions by 2030 in just matter of 5 years. Indian contribution to the global market in terms of specialty chemicals is just 4 to 5% market size. What are the driving factors for this specialty chemicals? It's an influence in export potential. I would like to add a few points in this export potential. India's export potential for specialty chemical is currently 30 to 35% of total chemical market. We are sharing export of 30% in export, which will grow around 45% in next 1 or 2 years. Even we have grown at 47% from last 10 years, from 2014. New manufacturing hub is in India because of disturbances in various factors in China, and everybody is looking for India as a new manufacturing hub. The entry strategies, as we have already spoken around the export potential of India, the specific specialty chemicals is in 50% will be around 2025 to 2025 to 2026 will be exporting mostly specialty chemicals to 50%. What is specialty chemical? It's an right product which is in high demand. The target and customer segments I will be talking about later on. But what are the major factors that are involved in these specialty chemicals? It's manufacturing process and technology. It's in a new era. We are looking up on very low volume and high value products. The various manufacturing methods, operations, productions are involved into industry 3.0, and we are crossing over to industry 4.0 in this specialty chemical sector. The digital transformations like inputs of machine learning, artificial intelligence, different kind of technologies. We are improving in volumes and value shares in global market also. Raw materials and few examples to introduce at specialty chemicals like phosphate esters, plasticizers, construction adhesives, which are used in constructions and adhesives. Natural oils like rapeseed oil, linseed oil, lecithins, which are used basically for in polymers and surfactants. Then benzyl derivatives, benzene, use of benzene, uh, ethanols, and some bonding agents. Yes, development of niche molecules based on this benzene, rapeseed oils, ethanols, phosphate esters, which are renewable resources, recovered from renewable resources. Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, Mr. Utpal, we can hear you.
Yeah, I got some disturbances here.
Yeah, yeah. No, where about it?
Yeah, few molecules from fragrances, uh, which are derived from bioextracts like surplus flour and other things. Uh, then such kind of molecules we can use for development of specific derived niche molecules, which can be used for various applications in various sectors. No, we are not targeting a single product to a single application purpose. We are developing a molecule based on new generation innovations, development of various molecules, various side molecules like co-products, byproducts for various applications across the sectors all. Marketing and strategic locations development. As we have discussed, we are looking for B2B and B2C sectors, which are exclusive for marketing and branding. We we are depending on if you consider B2C sectors, we are depending on mostly dealer and distribution network to grow in this specialty chemical sector. Initially, to start up with, uh, we require land infrastructure, machinery, technology, material R&D. We require around 15 to 50 crores initially to go in and penetrate into this specialty chemical market. Yes, I will be talking of various sectors in deep, but just to introduce what are the specific specialty chemicals used in sectors and what are their uses in specific sectors in this specialty chemical base mostly goes into dyes and pigment sector, personal care, surfactants, textile market, polymer, again into paint and coatings, construction, flavors and fragrances, and water chemicals. Uh, Highlighting of dyes and pigment market. Domestic manufacturers are very much dependent on import from China chemical materials and other things. After Corona, it's been very much affected due to pollution norms in China, raw material disturbances in China, logistic disturbances. So we have shifted our focus from imported chemicals to Indian generated and resource from India only. In terms of personal care, uh, increased demand after Corona due to consumer preferences, hygiene awareness. The personal care has been improving a lot in specialty chemicals. Surfactants are high demand products, uh, goes into detergents, cleaning agents, floor cleaners, disinfectants.
Mr.
These
Vipul, is it possible for you to move the attendee screen over there in front of your presentation? Is it
yes,
the attendee screen on the right side?
okay,
Is it possible to move it to the lower corner or somewhere?
okay, just a minute,
Because it's blocking the presentation.
just a minute. Is it okay?
Hmm. Any other place you can move?
Oh,
Or it's behind, I think.
yeah,
Left side you can put it.
it's okay. I can have this
You
one.
can put it on the left side down where you had put it before. Yeah.
Am I going too fast?
No,
Because
no, no, no. I think it's fine. The pace is good. Maybe in
uh,
each sector, like how you're telling, you can give some examples also.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That I'm covering it.
Sure, sure.
Yes. Yeah. We have into personal care sectors. Sorry. Uh, yes. Increased demand after Corona. The hygiene effect, hygiene awareness, and personal protections have been very much increased since last 3 years after Corona. Even in surfactant sector, the use of disinfectant, cleaning agents, detergents has been growing since a lot. Textile chemicals. Uh, Again, disturbance from Chinese input materials and disturbance in various logistic problems is in impacted textile chemicals a lot. In terms of polymers, increase in automotive and industrial applications based on this packaging materials, use of packaged foods is been dependent on polymers. In terms of construction chemicals,
Mr. Vipul,
uh,
maybe in each of these sectors, you can also tell us what is the typical investment that could be required for an entrepreneur who wants to set up a unit,
uh,
approximately.
for this particular sectors,
Ah, yeah, each of these.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will cover a few. In terms of flavors and fragrances, use of packaged food, fragrances, use of this deodorants, air cleaners, air fresheners is been in high demand since last 3 years. And in terms of water treatment chemicals, it's been industrial demand for pollution control, the water treatment plants, water effluents, and pollution control. All these are converted into this water treatment chemicals. Uh, I would like to concentrate you all on CAGR in particular these sectors. You can see the growth rate from last 5 years is not less than 10%. It's hovering around 10 to 15%. In some cases, like agrochemicals, we are growing at around 20%. In terms of pharmaceuticals, we are growing around 20%. You can see in in flavor and fragrances, we are growing around 17%, 15% in terms of personal care, and 15% another for construction chemicals. Even you can see the various market size in this all sectors. It's not less than 1 billion, or even in terms of agrochemicals, they are around 13 to 15 billion also. The entry barriers and market growth. You can easily distinguish the difference between high demand product and high market growth, like construction chemical, flavor fragrances, water treatment, personal care are in high growth segments. But the also entry barriers is also high in these sectors. We can concentrate on surfactant, textile, polymers, even in dyes and pigments, where we are doing very much ahead of the market.
When
Use
you
of
talk
this,
about entry barriers, what are the typical entry barriers in these sectors?
the number of industries already present in this market, like MNCs and type A category, high
Existing players are huge in these
existing
sectors.
players. Yes, I am talking on existing players.
Right, right. So for a new
Even
entrepreneur, they might be
yeah,
not be in a good
we
position to start in these sectors
yes, yes,
immediately.
yes. Even in terms of polymers, which are been uh, growing very much, but you can see the entry barrier. It's in easier one, low entry. You can easily enter into these polymer segments, even in dyes and chemicals, surfactants and textiles.
So if
Uh,
a new industry wants to enter in these areas where already existing big players are there, can
yes,
they become suppliers to these big players?
yes, yes, yes. I have already spoken on B2B sector also. Even they are requesting for manufacturing facility also, product development. They are not relying on new R&D setup and new innovations. Just they have to in search of new molecule or niche molecule from lower segment also. Even a single molecule or a single product to an big industry uh, already into market is in a good win-to-win situation for an uh, new entrant also. If we come up with an niche molecule which is required for an large MNC or big MNCs, it will be good for everyone.
So when you say come up with a niche molecule, could
Yeah.
it be that these people, the big players today, are
Yes.
importing these from countries like China,
Yeah.
and they obviously would be searching for a Indian manufacturer, right, of
Right.
these molecules?
Right. Even I will go back. Some of these kind of molecules, just like bioextracts
Right.
and biocides. Yeah. Generally, in earlier ages, we are using neem, a simple neem patta or an leaves. If we derive something of it from neem leaves, it will be grow into this uh, agricultural demand. Even in personal care, the hygiene improvements, we are using these since ages. But if we derive out of something like niche molecule from this neem leaves also, or some co-products, byproducts around this neem leaves, it will be beneficial for us. Some Just to give an outlook for example on this biocide also. Even in terms of natural oils, We are using rapeseed oils, soya oils since long. If we are derive out something niche molecular and new molecule out of it from just extraction and other innovative process, which will be required for this construction industry, agro industries, textile industries. We are beneficial from this kind of molecules also. Even in terms of real estates, the demand is for new molecule, new search, even new applications in metal industries, cement sectors is unlimited. The market is just a matter of right product and a right kind of industry we need to focus on. Is it clear?
Yes, yes. So
Yes.
maybe, like I said, if you can give us, typical investment ranges required for some of these sectors.
Okay. I will cover a few things in terms of surfactants, some new biomolecules. It's around 20 to 25 crores initially. We need to develop some R&D initially to have an even no need to develop R&D for ourselves in our industry. We can contract it to innovative companies which will derive a molecule or something we need at their R&D setup and very much as an contract to develop a molecule outsource, which will be beneficial. No need to invest in R&D and develop a R&D team. Even we can contract a manufacturer also and supply as an B2B. There are unlimited options there. Uh, we don't need to invest in land, infrastructure, lab development, instruments. Just outsource an R&D and outsource and as an toll manufacturing. That's it. We can do it in 10 CR also. In terms of this surfactant chemicals, textiles.
But if we do the outsourcing of R&D, how do
Yes,
we make sure that the IP is protected?
we have to get it registered as an copyright,
Hmm.
patented it's also under our R&D and our under name. That's the main key area for initial branding and marketing purpose and to enter into a new market. That's been necessary to register an particular product for ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I will have some data on this dyes and pigment sector in just a few minutes.
Sure.
I think I am visible. I have a power shortage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit dark, but it's okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I will have something. In terms of dyes and pigment sector, dyes contribute around 70% of this uh, total market and pigments around 30%. Uh, Dyes are typically soluble in nature and has an substrate colorant, while pigments are insoluble in most of the cases and it's in a suspension form. This dyes typically goes into paint and coating sector, textile sector, inks, and plastic additives. In terms of this dye segments, 30%, 70% dyes are being consumed into textile sector only. Other sectors, we have a big scarcity of these dye sectors. We can have a look of dye sector into dyes uses into various other applications like packaging industry, construction industries, in terms of this personal care also. Very much scope is there of dyes particular into other sector other than textile. Even in terms of pigment sectors, 50% of the pigments are being consumed by plastic and polymer industry only. Other 50% we have a scope to enter with a new pigment into new application areas. We have a scope there. Even in terms of export, uh, we are around 30 to 35% exporting this dyes and chemical to various Europe countries and African countries also. We have a good potential of exporting this dyes and pigment, uh, which I am expecting around 50%. We can up to 50% we can export in this stuff sector. Then I will have some extra enhanced knowledge on personal and care sector in terms of specialty chemicals. In terms of specialty chemicals, just 30% are uh, market share of this specialty chemicals in personal care segment. In personal care, 70% consumption is of waxes and solvents only. 30% only of this specialty chemicals. That too very much into just 4 applications of personal care. You conditioning agents, which are consuming around 21% of specialty chemicals. UV ingredients consuming around 16%, anti-aging 16%, and exfoliants 5%. Uh, we have n number of application in personal care, but specialty chemicals are being used in just 4 different products. That is conditioning agents, UV ingredients, anti-aging, and exfoliants. Other applications we are not focusing on them. I will uh, try to focus on these applications also. Just do not copy into these segments. You can look up for various applications apart from this basic. Uh, we have enough resources in this sector also, just like palm oil, soya oil, rapeseed oils. These are available at our end, but we are not focusing. Just we are focusing on waxes, solvents, and few flavor fragrances only on this personal care. We have to develop a new product or think differently to hunt for a right product and enter into a right application which will be beneficial in terms of value and volume also. Is it good?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I think I would like to conclude with some brief into polymer and surfactant sector combined.
Right.
These are basically used into paints, varnishes, automotive sectors, uh, decoratives, home care, personal cares, which is in terms of volume growth of 12%, and in terms of value growth, it's around 15%. Basic into this use into this polymer and adhesives, packagings, craft making, constructions, laminates, n number of applications are there in this polymer and surfactant sectors. I will uh, the share some growth factors into sectors. Modernization of our cities, smart cities, urbanization development, disposable incomes. We are increasing income, household income and expenses also. Infrastructure development either by uh, construction sector or by our governments has been growing at an healthy speed, and growth in automobile sector, personalized vehicles, even public transportation growth is been in good. We have uh, to focus on some right product at an right application area only to
So
enter
how
in.
does, say, somebody wants to set up a unit? How
Yeah.
does he know that who are the probable B2B buyers of these specialty chemicals?
Uh,
Where should one start?
uh, where should one start? Yeah. Even if you can end up into this right kind of product, we need to focus on firstly on B2B segment, not to go for B2C. B2B in terms of polymers, there are many players like Pidilite, Henkel, Arkoma, HB Pullers. We we can focus on these also. Yeah, even in terms of Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Godrej, they are not limiting on their R&D and innovations only. They are focusing on diversification of their portfolio, their market baskets, and they easily go for B2B, and their focus is on B2B only in India. Uh, all the MNCs are now focusing and getting it at toll manufacturing or an contract R&D also. They are not relying on their own resources, own investment, and own industry also. They are diversified, and they have changed the scenario whole of Indian market, going at an B2B. To conclude with, this is the concluding slide in this. Demand is been there. We need to develop a right kind of product to influence this market, and the cycle goes. We need to enter it smartly, looking at a low barrier entry where there is not much competition is there, and then we can get some healthy margins and healthy volume also. Not to rely on this only, we need to upgrade that molecule either, or we need to focus on a new product. It's in been spiral cycle. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vipulji. So I think the takeaway from this particular session with Vipulji was basically that specialty chemicals by itself is a very vast demand sector, but any entrepreneur who needs to get into it has to have a healthy budget of at least 15 crores to which can run all the way up to 20 to 25 to almost 50 crores. The reason being that you need to pick up a particular segment within specialty chemicals and do some R&D on the molecule, and then only you can claim that you are a specialty chemical manufacturer. And there are a lot of these MNCs who would be ready to outsource the requirement of their specialty chemicals to such companies, and also that you don't have to initially invest all this money by yourself, but you could hire an agency or a lab which can do the initial R&D for you, and then you can register your own trademark and your own patents on these specialty chemicals and start manufacturing them by yourself.
Right.
So that typically summarizes the journey that an entrepreneur will have to take if he wants to get into specialty chemicals. I will hold Mr. Vipul ji for any questions that we might have after the session. Thank you, Vipul ji, for
Thank you.
your wonderful insights. I have now Mr. Umesh Kamble. He had to join us a little late, but he has joined us now. And he will now be, as I mentioned, talking about food-based chemicals and what are the opportunities that an entrepreneur can look into within this sector. Over to you, Umesh ji.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, SolutionBuggy, for the giving me opportunity to interact with the people. Just I sharing my PPT, so we will start. Just enter. If you can, just. Or anybody from there also share the PPT?
Yeah, so we can share it for you.
Yeah.
Our team can share it, and then
Yeah, that will be the best one.
okay. You can let us know when you want to move the slides.
Yeah. As everyone knows, the food industry is growing in the last 10 years, where the processing will be the happen only the 10 to 50, 7 to 10% only. Now it is grown up to the 20%, double digit we are growth in the food processing sector in a 10 years. And as you know that in the 2047 we are became the Vishwa Guru, and we are not only fulfilling the requirement of the India, we are going to fulfilling the requirement of the world also in terms of food processing, in terms of food. And whenever the any food items is made, the processing aspect is whenever the food processing is happening, the food chemicals or the food ingredients play a very important role as the industry is growing. So again uh, the food ingredient is also simultaneously growing in India, and that will add the value. Like if we see the in terms of value, we are now for the export 27 million we achieve in the export, and that will be get double or triple when our in a 3047. And there are a lot of industries. If you see the lot of foreign industries in the chemicals, like if you see that they have the base out of the China or the but now as per the China one policy, a lot of European manufacturer, they want to come to the India for the manufacturing of this food ingredient. Because why they want to come to the India? Because they are seeing the very big market in itself in India as a user also. And from here, as we are the richest in agriculture, so the raw material availability in terms of the making the food chemicals, so the raw material availability is abundance in that. Next, please. As you see the chemical manufacturing, the majorly if we see there are in the chemical industry means the people or the consumers see always in the dark side of the chemical. कि भी chemical है तो it's polluting the nature, it's negative industry, and a lot of anti or the lot of people are talk about the negative things, the chemical खाने से ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा. But if we see the positive side of the chemicals of the ingredient, it will help you to reduce our wastages, and in a certain limit. Whenever, whichever the things, if you eat the food or if you eat the chemical or if you eating anything, if it is not within the limit, it will harms. So whenever we are using the chemical or the food ingredient in the processing, the FSSAI has regulated the things कि भी इतना परसेंटेज में इतने डोसेज में ही होना चाहिए. तो उसी हिसाब से अगर यूज करेंगे तो उसका हार्म नहीं है. बट there are people who talk about the negative thing about the processing, and where if we see if the processing will be the not happen. If we see the latest example, if we found that the tomato price has gone up to the more than 200 rupees a kg, if our processing industry will be the need to play a very important role, where we can process the tomato puree and the customer or the consumer will get the throughout the year the same pricing when they are using the process. Same thing happening in the onion or the other producers also. So here only the solution is that our processing should be increased, and when we are doing the processing, whichever the ingredient or the chemical we are using, that should be the in a certain limit. If we see the potential in the industries, specifically preservative, sweeteners, colors, emulsifier, and other, if we see the new area has come, that is a health ingredient, because nowadays people are facing a lot of health problem, and so due to that one, the people are moving to the today only we have physically opened the FI India show in Mumbai. I am witnessing the inaugural part. There the FSSI ex-CEO Dr. Pawan Kumar Agarwal is told about कि भी 25% people population is now moving toward the health food. But if we see the 75% population still are not eating the health food, so that category to health ingredient category going to be increased, because everyone want to be healthy, everyone want to be good. So where all that ingredient or all the food chemical will definitely play a major role, and it would be, whenever we are adding any additives, it should be carefully formulated to meet the specific requirement of that food. If we add in a particular quantity, their texture, their color, quality, it will be according to the use of their formulation. If we see the collaboration part of the food industries, there are a lot of manufacturing, small manufacturing companies has coming. Even if we see the lot of QSR industries growing, where the ingredient or the food chemical play a very important role to making the consistent quality and the consistent taste or consistent color or consistent appearance to the consumer. And that partnership will definitely, I think, help. If we see the lot of last 10 years, a lot of international QSR has come to the India, but nowadays if we find all our traditional food is also coming in a QSR format, and where the people not only from the India is liking this food, even people these brands are going to the in the out of countries also, because of their authenticity, consistency in the taste, and that can be possible only with the help of the food chemical or the food ingredient only. If we see the regulation part, compliances part, also FSSI is working very fast and very actively on the ingredient part. Whichever the new ingredient or the new chemicals are coming, they are checking regularly, and they are giving the approvals very fast to that. That will help not only the industry group, even their main concern is to promise the safety and health, safe and health food to the public. And I think the FSSI is playing very vital role in that, and the FSSI is very in the boosting the industry. FSSI is very actively now doing for the health or the other chemicals approvals very fastly. Next, please. If you see the market growth and the futures, there are immense level of the packaged product are increased day by day, and majorly in terms of the convenience. Whenever we are going from the convenience product, like just a simple example. Now in a home, the both the family member are the working. So if you see we are getting the fresh cut vegetable or the fresh fruit vegetable, where the or the fruits, where the coating of the coating of the fruits, or the during the bleaching, or the during the some of the ripened food, so stopping the ripening. For there also some of the anti-ripening agents are using for the increasing our shelf life of our fresh fruit. Even whenever you are getting the fresh cut fruit vegetables, to maintain that freshness, the blanching or the some of the edible chemicals are used to increase the shelf life of that. So that is that gives the convenience, and even we are reducing the wastage in a both way. Because if we see the simple example in the metro cities, if you are going to buy any vegetable like cabbage, the edible part is only the 40 to 50%, and other part are the wastage in the cabbage, where that wastage goes in the metro cities, and the dumping yard is coming. But instead of that, this product is get processed, blanched, or the pack in a rural area. The whatever the 50% wastage of the agriculture input is there, that can be utilized as a organic manure, or that can be utilized as a dried and make as a fibers to the because health category, the fiber play a very important role. And where these fibers are coming, these are the fibers are coming only the edible portion of these fruits and vegetables. This is the one example I am giving, but there are lots of fibers or lots of the fruits and vegetable wastage or the agriculture wastage, where we can make the lot of food chemicals or the food ingredient. And where if we see the developed countries like Europe and the US are making these ingredient from the agriculture waste only. So there I feel there is a huge market growth potential in doing the processing of from the waste to the value added chemicals or the value added ingredient in that. Next, please. If we see the current landscape in the chemical manufacturing, we are mostly depending on the importing the things. But as I say that there is a effectiveness of the preservative, colors, flavors, and enhancer, and the shelf life especially there. So industry essentially overall food supply chain ensure that should be contributed more intactly and more. And for that shift is going to happen in a present condition. So a lot of companies, those who are previously exporting the ingredient to the Indian, so they start manufacturing in India and start exporting to the world from here. So they because for that they find the market very big market. After the China, the India is the biggest market for that. Even if we specifically focus, if we see as I suggest, that health and wellness sector is very much growing in that fiber or the sweeteners, artificial sweetener or the natural sweeteners area is growing in a very big way. And if we see in that the technological advancement, there are a lot of technological advancement in terms of increasing the shelf life. Because if we see our wastage is near about previously it will be the 30 to 40%. Now it will become the below 25%, and definitely the India will the time will be come, our wastage will be reduced. And this is only possible through the processing and through the different type of chemical ingredient or the food ingredient where we can reduce the wastage in a not only in the processing, even in a supply chain side, or even in the delivering the product to the consumer. Because the if we talk about the, we are just talking nowadays for the delivering the uh, product come to the factory and go out to the factory. But if we see there are when the produce is get from the farm to the coming to the factory, there is also the lot of wastage is happening. And after the product is ready from the factory to the going to the consumer, there are also a lot of wastage is happening. So there also the food ingredient need to play a very very important role, and they are playing in terms of packaging, in terms of processing aids to increasing the shelf life. And the most important role is sustainability. Nowadays in the food processing, the the sustainability is very much important in terms of manufacturing, in terms of packaging also. In the packaging also, there are a lot of chemical or lot of enzymes are there coming into the where they once the packaging material comes in contact with that packaging material or the with the mud, that enzyme get activated, and that packaging material get deposited into the landfill. If we see the packaging to depositing or the it will take 20 or 30 years the where the in the past. But nowadays this type of technology or this type of research is also going on, where the we can reduce or the minimize the like the time of the packaging or the processing wastage. Next, please. Just I
Maybe you can also highlight on a few food-based chemicals where the entrepreneurs can look to set up a plant.
Yeah,
and which has
definitely.
demand.
Definitely. I will go the sector wise in the next next.
Sure. Maybe you can speed up a little.
Yeah. If we see the emerging opportunities, like as Guru is told about there are the natural ingredient market. If we see the color market, basically in the natural ingredient market is growing in a very very big, because nowadays the clean label concept in the FSSAI or the people are coming. So this is the area where the new entrepreneurs can come with the as I mentioned, the through the agriculture waste they can make the emulsifier, they can make the fiber, or they can make the uh, all the ingredient whichever make through the chemical sources can be possible through the make to the natural sources also. So there is a very very much opportunity to the Indian entrepreneur to enter into the natural ingredient market, and that that will give the market to the not only India, even outside the India also. Second most growing sector is the health alternative ingredient, where the everyone want to be alternative in the low calorie, low sugar, or the artificial sweetener, or the wellness, or the seeing the particular life diseases essentially they are carrying, so they want to reduce that also. So that is one of the area where the food ingredient play a very very important role to in terms of that is a nutraceutical ingredient made, or the botanical ingredient, or the Ayurvedic ingredient may play a very very vital role. And India having the very vast history of the Ayurvedic product, or the Ayurvedic unidentified product. Only challenges with the Indian market because we don't have the data of the efficacy, safety of that. And I think the nowadays the new ministry, Ayush ministry, has come to the launch, and they are doing the much more studies, because the even international market has known ki Ayurveda is good, but we don't have to enough data to prove them to कि भी ये ingredient का efficacy ये है, safety ये है. तो अभी आयुष मिनिस्ट्री इसके ऊपर बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहा है. और there are some of the in India, if we go to the northeast or if we go to the J&K, there are some of the unidentified herbs or the ingredients are there. They can having the miracle in the health of the human being. Only the need to be that there are a lot of institute also studying. Only the entrepreneur need to go there, identified and meet and take it forward in a make it in a business model. Again, much more potential area is the partnership and the collaboration. Why I'm saying the partnership and collaboration here? If we see the lot of technological ingredient is having the patented with the European countries or the Japanese countries, they have the much more patent. So here we need to collaborate it with these company, because they when they want to come to the India, they need someone from the Indian industry is they having the very good backup on the back end for the sourcing of that raw material and your market access also. So they need a certain that type of collaboration. So that collaboration and partnership, the entrepreneur, those having strong in the supply chain or the market, they can collaborate with these type of big industries and take it forward. That is one of the opportunities. And as I know, the export potential is more into these type of ingredient. Presently, we are importing, but definitely in next 5 years, we are the biggest exporter for the food chemicals and even the consumer also, as the industry is growing. Next, please.
Yeah, one more example I would like to mention here is, especially since Dr. Umesh was mentioning about the the extracts from natural products, especially curcumin from turmeric, and
Yes.
also we were working on one of the projects where we were extracting piperin from
Piperin.
black pepper. So
Yes.
both these have a huge market potential, and these are some of we are just scratching the surface here. But like how Dr. Umesh was saying, it could be cardamom or extracts, or it could be basil leaf extracts. It could be lavanch. What do we get? Clove.
Yeah.
That extract. So these are having huge potential, and not many industries who are large scale are doing this as of today. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Even if we see that there is a great demand of the ashwagandha and the other ashwagandha is also nowadays very much growing. So there are huge like some of the unidentified also, and even Ministry of Agriculture also is promoting the production of the herbal product in our. If we see the Safed Musli is one of the, we are doing the biggest export from India to the other countries, and in India also having the much more potential in that.
Right.
If we see the next level is the role of food chemical enhancing the food quality, safety, and the shelf life. These are the three areas where the increasing the food quality, like majorly in the flavor enhancer. If we see because whenever anyone eat the product, firstly he eat by the eyes, second he eat by the enhancement is very important. But there is also some negativeness in the using the MSG will harm, or it is not good for the health. So there are certain natural flavor enhancer also available in India, where the Indian manufacturer can come and because flavor, because our Indian food is a major currency is the color and the flavor only. So the enhancing the flavor in the natural in the south, if you see the vanilla plantation is a very big plantation where you can extract, and India is a leading exporter in the uh, vanilla extraction and exporting to the developed country. So there are these second much more area is texture improvement, because whatever, if we see the people nowadays, whenever they eat the product, they want to feel also. Like if we see there's a trend is of the plant-based product has come, and the people are moving to the non-veg to the vegetarian, but they want to become texture. They want a similar texture. So texture improvement area where the emulsifier, stabilizer are play a very important role. I just want to quote one of the example, like one of the startup in India who is making the emulsifier from the sugarcane waste. Because if we our agriculture waste is like that, if you are do the research and see the potential, if we see the India is a more, after the Brazil, we are the second largest producer of the sugarcane. And I think if you see the from their wastage, if we producing the emulsifier means it will drastically change the scenario of the industry. And yeah, again it is from the waste, means it is we are going toward the sustainability, and it is from the waste means uh, the sugarcane industry add the value to their product. As you see the increasing the sugar price is always the very political decision. Sometimes the increasing the sugar price is very difficult, but like value addition of the such only help the sugar industry to boost and increase their profit. If we see there are a lot of ingredient they are using in the salad dressing, in the ice cream or the sausage and other there are, because nowadays what happened that the people want to eat the Indian food, but they want to feel or they want to taste like westernized. That trend has come, and that can be possible only the certain ingredient or the certain chemicals those are using in the salad dressing or the making of the sausages, like that. Next, please. Uh, Major important and is just I mentioned is the people in India eat by the color. So color retention is very important in the food chemical play a very important role to uniformity of the color or uniformity of the product in the post harvest stage also, and even processing stage also, and even after the uh, pack in a factory reaching to the consumer. These three stage also to up to the eating, the color retention play a very important role. So where there are a lot of natural color ingredient, because previously in the color there are three categories: chemical color, naturally identical color, and natural color. These are the three categories that come. But if we see the third category, that natural color is growing very much. If we see the from the just I go example given the example of the curcumin. After the curcumin also the color extraction of the color extraction is one of the area where the curcumin, the turmeric plant are extracting the color also. If we see there are certain seaweeds or the certain algae also there. From there you can extract the color, and these are all the natural color, the natural color, and people will feel that it will don't have the harm. So, and if we see our area, our coastal area is, we have the very huge coastal area. So they are the seaweed ingredient. We are not yet utilize the India. So I urge to the lot of startups or a lot of entrepreneurs, those who want to, they can utilize our seaweed potential that can be used not only in the food, that can be used in agriculture also, and the cosmetic also. These are the three industries where the seaweed consumption is very much increased, and we are fully depending upon the import only, and that can be possible through our coastal region only. We are mainly focusing on the fishing, and this is another area where the people can extract the different proteins, vitamins, minerals, and certain activities also. Mostly if we see in the food chemical, just I say the people are concerned very much about the safety and the preservation कि भी ये preserve करेगा तो उसकी safety का क्या है, तो that specifically on the microbial, controlling the microbial growth, there are some of the antimicrobial agents are there, some of the controlling the bacteria during the processing, sodium benzoate. There are n number of chemicals. Those are growing because whenever if we want to process the product, that chemical ingredient is required for us in a certain amount. Third area in the preservation, second area, sorry, in the oxidation control, because if we see any product is whenever it is spoiled, it is only the two factors is important. One is come in contact with oxygen, and come in contact with oxygen is very important. So controlling the oxidation process, there are a lot of BHA, BST. These are the ingredient, antioxidant ingredient used in controlling the oxidation process. So in that also there are natural some ingredient from the agriculture. Even if you see our Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology are giving a lot of funds on doing the research on the agriculture waste to the making these ingredient, and they have some technological fund also. There if your technology is proven, and if you want to put any unit in that, so they are giving the loan to that startups only through the 3% interest. It is very interesting. If you have a certain technology, the technological board under the DBT, they are giving the loan to the 3% interest. 3% interest means and nothing, and there is no restriction of the amount for their product. Only that your product or your technology has need to be proven by some of the CSR institute or any recognized institute. Then and only you can go and avail that fund and do the business. Next, please. Again is the moisture control. In the moisture control is very important, where basically anti-caking agent or the preventing the clumping, dryness, or the gel formation. There are because we are eating the different product and different product. The moisture control is very important. So for that also certain anti-caking agent or the certain chemicals are using, and that, as I say, that the food processing market is increased. So definitely to increase the shelf life or the controlling the moisture, these ingredient market is also. This is presently purely 60 to 70% is on the import. So that if we can put the unit in India and make in India, so that is a very big market, because nowadays if you see for that ingredient, Indian government is now increasing the day by day the duties, and to increasing that duty, so pricing of that ingredient is going up. So these companies also planning to collaborate or the putting up the unit in India only, or otherwise if you have the market, so they can collaborate also with you. Secondly, is the humectant and the pH control is very important in the preserving the initial life, because whenever the certain pH, the microbial growth will be not happen in the food processing. So that controlling the pH during the processing, we need to add a certain ingredient in the certain chemicals in that, so that that area is very much increasing. Next. If we see the these are the ingredients, but understanding that preservative or the natural preservative in terms of regulatory aspect. As I told, that FSSAI is very, very active in that, and they have set the minimum residual limit also for the use of that chemicals, and very fastly they are permitting the new additives or the internationally recognized additives into the using in Indian market. So that, and the labeling requirement is also required for the whenever you are putting any ingredient into the any processed product. So you need to mention that ingredient is from the ingredient name, and if your ingredient is from the synthetic source or the natural source, that will also because nowadays the consumer are very much reading the labels. They are seeing the whatever the product I'm going to buy, it is from the natural ingredient or synthetic ingredient, or the how much calorie I get, how much this get. So I think the natural preservatives play a very, very important role in future. Next, please. The market demand and the growth potential, I say that the changing the lifestyle will definitely change the food processing or the eating pattern or the processing pattern in India. If you see the even nowadays, people used to go once in a week to the out for the food or the going for the processed food. Nowadays it is through 2 days, 3 days, and the day will come to the India where the people will not cook the food in a home. They will always take the processed product, or they will always see the convenience product, healthy product to eat. And definitely there the food ingredient play a very, very important role when the people are not doing the cooking or the not eating the fresh food, fresh product. So the processing aspect is very, very, and if we see the not India in 2047, not only feed to the Indian market, globally also we are very much become the competent at that time in terms of transportation, in terms of the storage, because nowadays Indian government are more focusing on the infrastructure development. There is a special fund from the agriculture department for agri infrastructure fund, where they are helping the new people, those who want to come to the put up the warehouses or the cold storage in a respective area to reducing the wastages. So that definitely add the value to the. If you challenge and the future process majorly is that if you see the Indian presently also the people feel that कि भी processed product है, मतलब कुछ तो भी इसमें chemical डाला है या कुछ तो भी harmful डाला हुआ है. We have to make that mind कि और आपको हमें consumer awareness करना बहुत जरूरी है कि भी processed product मतलब unhealthy या कुछ chemical डाला नहीं है. It is to save or reach to you your convenience. उन्होंने certain amount में जो के allowed है, जो allowed chemicals है या allowed ingredient है, वही डाले हुए हैं. No one industry want to give you the bad product to the consumer. Only there are some of the consumer people are there. They are talking negative about, but I think as the industry is growing very, very fastly, food processing industry, so we should accept. We should see कि it is within the limit, and everything in the limit is, I think, the good for the health. Everything above the limit, it is bad for the health. And specifically the clean moment, I say that it will be definitely help you. As I say that natural ingredient will definitely help. And research and innovation is the area where the lot of research institute nowadays working on the different preservatives and addressing the health and shelf life requirement. So I think the collaboration with the research institutes or the institutes and the entrepreneur. Nowadays, if we see there are a lot of, in the institute itself, there are a lot of incubation centers are there where you can go and incubate there and do the research with these people. And under the startup or the stand up India, you can get a lot of funds into the doing the research also, and the launching the product and the putting the your own factory also. Next, please. Specifically for the exploration of the food color, the type of color I previously also mentioned is the natural color and the artificial color. Artificial color, the natural color are the derived from the natural sources like fruit, vegetable, turmeric, spirulina from the green algae, and the synthetic or the artificial color are the made up of the certain chemicals, but that is also used in a uh, safe limit, and which will not have the more harm. Next. Application of the color, if you see that, as I mentioned, that visual appeal is very important for the eating any food. Even identification of the product, like our product, whenever you see the color color of the any product related to the identification of the product, even, yeah, even that product is attached with the branding or the marketing communication also. इवन कंज्यूमर प्रेफरेंस आल्सो, कंज्यूमर प्रेफर कि भी अगर स्ट्रॉबेरी का मैं आइसक्रीम खा रहा हूँ तो ये वो स्ट्रॉबेरी कलर का ही होना चाहिए, वो दूसरे कलर का अगर मैं स्ट्रॉबेरी का आइसक्रीम खा रहा हूँ तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. तो दैट दैट अटैचमेंट थ्रू द फ्लेवर एंड कलर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड कंज्यूमर प्रेफर लाइक कि भी वो वैसे ही होना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. Just I mentioned the emerging trend in the food color, specifically like shifting to the natural color is the one of the areas. Secondary thing, if we go to the natural color, the functional color is also coming with the color not only for the seeing purpose, with the health benefit, that is also coming. Even the vibrant to the exotic state, and transparency and the traceability. For the traceability also, the color play a very important role. Consumer are seeking the transparency about the source of the food color instead of the product, because nowadays the whenever the awareness is increased, the people are people transparency and the traceability play a very important. Next, please. Shelf life, shelf life extension chemical, I say that preservative, antioxidant, genetic agent that I discuss, and but there is a huge much potential in these because next please. Challenges and the benefit. If we see the challenges, I mentioned the consumer concern, that some of the consumer may not aware that consuming the product with the added chemical, raising the question about the safety and the health compliances. The regulatory compliance body like FSSAI is taking care, and they set the limit with the studies, and most of our Indian manufacturers are following the guideline of the FSSAI, where the color, added color, or the texture color, or the taste, or the shelf life, or the any quality attribute they are using the color, definitely they will take care. Benefit, if we see that using these chemicals, firstly we will reduce our food wastages. If we see our wastage is the coming for the 40% to the 30%, and I think no one want to waste, because it is a national loss, not only the individual loss, because farmer are getting any crop minimum, I think start from the 30 days to the 120 days, it will be gone for the making any food product. So that time, that energy, or the amount of water, amount of labor, if we see that the only solution is the processing, and for the processing, and the food chemical is only the way forward. If we see the economical, that increasing the product longevity allow to inventory management, reduce the cost, and the associated with the frequent disposal. Like if the economically, like there is a much more price fluctuation in the commodity, that can be controlled only through the processing, and the processing only. Global distribution can be happen when we help increase our shelf life. Like there are certain product, those having the shelf life of 3 months, 6 months. If we whenever we want to go to the export market, at least more than 1 year shelf life is required for that, because if you see the transit time from here to the going to the any country, it 30 to 40 days it will be goes. So at least they require that much time to reach to the consumer, and varied product offering to the manufacturer. That can be happen only through the increasing the shelf life, or the diversity of the preferences. Next, I think the area where the if we see the India is now the called the diabetic capital of the world, and where the sugar play, and artificial sweeteners or the natural sweetener play a very important role. And I think the new entrepreneur, like if India having the like stevia is growing very fastly in India, uh, at a farm level, but the processing and the technology, and there is a certain regulatory restriction also. I think that also clear by the FSSAI nowadays. So the making the artificial sweeteners, like artificial sweetener, or the may uh, moving from the artificial sweetener to the natural sweeteners is uh, that industry is very much growing nowadays. People are not preferring to eating the chai with sugar. ये तो बोलते हैं sugar कम डालो, या they are replacing. And as the if you are diabetes, so you have to take only the sugar, or artificial sugar only. Next, please. These are the alternative sugar, like aspartame is there, sucralose is there, saccharin is there, and stevia. I mentioned stevia market is going to increase. It is called a green sugar also. Next. Even if we see the market demand nowadays, people feel कि भाई मुझे जो प्रोडक्ट है वो लो कैलोरी होना चाहिए, या लो शुगर होना चाहिए। और ये सिर्फ पॉसिबल है कि जब हम ये इंग्रेडिएंट या ये स्वीटनर हमारे प्रोडक्ट में यूज करें। और उसके लिए उसमें मेजरली हमें ये देखना है कि बिकॉज सम ऑफ द पीपल हु आर डायबिटिक, दे कैन टेक, इवन इफ यू सी द आपको जनरली आजकल तो ऐसा हो गया कि भी 30 और 40 के एज के बाद एवरीवन इज नाउ गोइंग टू डिटेक्ट द diabetes only. After 40 it is difficult. I seen the certain people who are detected the diabetes in a 20-25 also, because of our lifestyle are changing. But if we start eating from our younger age only, like from 20 to 25, the healthy or low calorie food, so that can be extended to the, so that market is very much growing. And for that specifically because as the if we see the you are adding the sugar, artificial sugar or the natural sugar, and it have the Hello. I'm audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, but can you move the next slide? Yeah. That if we see there are 6 or for the specifically for the new entrepreneur, there are 6 to 6 potential areas, specifically natural color, antioxidant, emulsifier, acetone, sugar, preservative, and the flavoring acid. These are the areas where the industry increasing the demand day by day. And I think the new startups or the new entrepreneur or the existing entrepreneur can enter into this type of opportunity. Next, please. Yes, that's all from my side. If anyone have the question, we can take the question answer in detail.
Yeah, thanks, Umesh. I think you touched upon a lot of points, but only thing I would like to yeah, sorry. I think the only thing the people would probably be also interested to know is the kind of budget that is required to set up these units. Would you be able to highlight on that?
Yeah. Actually, from the setting of the like ingredient unit or the any manufacturing unit for the chemicals or the ingredient, at least starting from the 5 cr to the depend upon the capacity, you can go to the 1000 cr also, but minimum, because if you see the raw material cost and the extraction cost is more.
So suppose somebody wants to get into extraction units. So it could be either supercritical processing or it could be the carbon dioxide extraction.
Yeah.
So what could be the plant budget they should be looking at?
No. Setting up budget, it can be happen in a 2 up to the 2 to 3 cr, but only that if we see in the any extraction process, if we take a 1 kg product, you will get the extract only the 100 gram or the 200 gram, only 20, 30, or maybe the 35% only. So for that, these type of businesses, the working capital play a very important role, because I seen the certain entrepreneur who does not consider the working capital cost, because working capital is a major cost into the such type of the projects.
Right. And also, you mentioned that food products like the preservatives.
Yeah.
So what are the typical costs of setting up industries in the preservative sector?
No, preservative sector, like specifically whenever because there are whenever we are making the any preservative, there are three minimum 2 type or 2 to 10 type of processes are there. So whenever we are getting the any raw intermediate product and doing that processing, depending upon that, it will be variable. Like smallest unit I seen put it into the 50 or the 50 lakhs to the 1 crore also as a startups for the small specialty chemicals they are done.
And is there any location specific products that you can tell us, or is it can we set it up any across India?
Yeah, location is because it is not a bulky product, but only whenever we are going for the any natural product extraction, it should be near to the your raw material. That is very important, because as I mentioned that our extraction is only that sometime either the 5% to the 20% only to carrying that much transportation to increase your budget.
Right. The raw material cost I mean, logistics of the raw material becomes a big issue.
Big issue.
Because we have seen this, Nagpur area has very good oranges.
Yes.
And from orange peels, we can make these pectin. So there was one project where we were working in the south of Maharashtra. But the only reason why the project could not take off, the pectin content also was very high. But the only problem was transporting those orange peels from north to south of Maharashtra itself would cost 3 to 4 days, by which time the pectin content of the orange peels would go down. So that way, see, some of these extract kind of projects, I think the entrepreneurs have to look at areas where the raw material is abundantly available.
No,
The
yeah,
will be less in quantity, so they can be transported where and they can be preserved as well.
yeah. And if we see in the entrepreneur journey now, because only the technology, sometime I seen a lot of entrepreneur, those have the excellent technology, but they don't have the access to the market, or the not control on the supply chain, or the not not having the right location, or the not having the finances issues. These are the challenges also they need to consider when they are entering into the businesses, because business is always challenging for the different field, and you need to be understand that challenges and act accordingly, and uh, build up your strength on that challenges.
Right. I think there is a small poll which will come up to all the participants. I would suggest that kindly participate in that poll and give us your answers to that poll questions. The poll will show up on your screen right away. So I would ask you to take about 15 to 20 seconds to look at the poll and also answer these questions. Hope you are able to see the poll on the screen. Yeah. So you can give us your answer to this question, and post that I have a few questions which I have for Mr. Vipul. Vipulji, are you able to hear us? Hello? I'm not sure if Vipulji is there with us. But Umeshji, since you are there, one of the questions which has come up is which are the governments that are giving the most, incentives to the entrepreneurs to set up these units?
No, state-wise, sir, every government is because nowadays, because every government is going giving the best deal to the entrepreneur. Only concern is the how you are going to change the employability part of and how much employment you are going to make it happen, or how much farmer you are going to benefit. That figure you need to mention. Presently, I seen the every government is going, every state is giving the whatever the entrepreneur want, because this is a right time for the, I think, the starting the entrepreneurship journey. Each state is doing only we need to identify the certain things कि भी our raw material कहाँ पे है, market accessibility कहाँ पे है. तो otherwise every government is doing fantastic. Like even certain project, the central and the state, both are also merging the schemes and giving good benefit to the entrepreneurs.
Right. Especially with MOFP, there are very good schemes.
Yeah, MOFP is also, and
right.
Yeah.
And if you are
also, and as I mentioned that there is a Department of Science and Technology. If your some technological based product is there, so they will giving the 3% interest loan to the loan to the entrepreneur. and that will, I think, that if anyone going to put the factory, 3% loan means straightway you will get near about, I think, 55% straightway subsidy in that, because other whenever you are going for the any there is a no one bank will be give the below 8% interest. It is always above the 8% only.
Right.
Yeah, 5% subvention means it is huge.
And also from the energy department, you have some subsidies in some states, especially
No.
northeast states. Yeah.
There are different department, like MSME is having the different scheme. Even agriculture department in a particular state driven, they are giving a very good scheme. Even science and technology department as giving. Even your product is export based, so APEDA is also giving much more, and the Ministry of Commerce is also giving the scheme. And even your product is very much replacement to the any import commodity, so that additional benefit you can get also.
Right. And also, people want to know if there are Indian business houses which have a success story in the flavors and food chemicals market.
Yeah, there are lot of in the flavor. If we see that the Kelkar in Mumbai, there are huge success in the flavor only. I know some of the companies, yeah, they are coming in seasoning on the seasoning, also one of the area where the snacks industries has growing. Those seasoning in nowadays people are much more developing the Indian seasoning to the
Right.
Indian market basically.
Right. And also as part of CASMB and Nileshji's team, I think you also as part of AFSTI would
Yeah,
have.
I'm the AFSTI president for the Mumbai
Right.
chapter, and
Right.
the
So as part of that,
CSMB.
lot of companies are coming up within Maharashtra as well, right?
Yeah. We are helping the lot of companies to the not only Maharashtra, other state also they required. We help in. We are working in JNK also some of the projects. So any support they needed, definitely we do with your
But
coordination.
we can take up those projects.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think there is another thing that I would like to share. We are also looking at running a tech talk, which I personally will be moderating and talking about, where we are working on the biofuel and CBG production. One big segment as well, which is coming up. So just to the audience's understanding, we'll be talking about biofuel and CBG, the compressed biogas production. Again, one more area where new entrepreneurs can look at supplying to these plants as well. There is a huge demand for yeast or the bioorganisms which can be manufactured and which can be produced and sold to these kind of companies. So a lot of German companies and Japanese companies are also trying to come to India to make these bioorganisms. And in fact, as we talk, I think yesterday one new plant has been inaugurated in Haryana, which is basically making these yeast and bioorganisms. It's a Japanese and an Indian collaboration, which basically supplies to the CBG plants. So, I mean, this is just off topic, but I thought I would share this with the audience as well. We are going to run a session on biofuel and CBG on 8th September. Neeraj ji, Umesh ji, the next question that I would want to touch upon is, we talked about so much. You also mentioned that chemicals in general are not harmful, and there is a good demand and all. But one more concern with the entrepreneurs is, would there be a kind of a ban on these chemicals if they start? Obviously they would have put in a lot of capital and they would have started with a lot of investment. So how do they look at chemicals, and how can they see that such kind of government bans and other things won't affect their industry?
No, only the whenever you are putting the any plant, see that just check the safety and the efficacy of that chemical, and there are certain limits to adding to it that, and I don't think the banning will be the option. Only they can put the reduce the limits. Limits increase or decrease maybe happen. The banning is not a solution, because if we see I will give the simple example. Whenever in the 60s 70s there is a ban on the plastic has come, so banning is not a solution. We don't have any alternative to preserve the food. Only the chemical can preserve the food. So the only that we can increase or decrease the limits only as per the country standard or the any law, but no one can, I think, stop that.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So as of now, the industry is still in safe hands.
Yeah. Anything? Any other questions anyone have?
Yes. So I think one more question, and then we can probably wind up. We were also looking at, somebody says that he has a budget of 1 crore. Can they set up units in food processing chemicals industry?
Yeah, definitely.
And also, if they say 1 crore, then obviously there is bank loan and government subsidies that they can look at, and also there is good potential, like how Mr. Umesh has mentioned. You are getting loans at even 3%. So then it becomes a larger capital that you can look at. But please bear in mind that do not set up industries where you completely finish off your capital when you set up the industry, because working capital plays a major role, and we need to project it in the right manner and have your finances maintained for the working capital as well. Otherwise, if you end up spending all the money in setting up the industry, then working capital issues will be high, and typically your payment cycles are in the range of 45 to 90 days. So then you need to make sure that you are able to hold raw materials and inventory cost can be maintained for this period. Yes, I think it has been a splendid with Umesh ji and also with Vipul ji. It was definitely a immense learning experience for us. The kind of specialty chemicals that one can get into, and also the kind of opportunities in the food processing sector. I apologize that a few places my video was not so good. Because of the internet connection, I guess. But in case any of you have any questions, or if you feel you need to talk to any of them, do let us know, and our sales team will connect back to you. For the webinar presentations, it will be shared with you after the webinar, after both the webinars are completed. And I definitely request all of the participants to mail in their questions in case some of them have not been answered. And also, if anybody is interested in the bio-CBG and the biofuel sector, please do log into the webinar on 8th of September. Post this, in the second session of today's knowledge sharing session, we will be talking about construction chemicals, and also on other chemicals which I was mentioning, especially in the area of green hydrogen or green ammonia, and also chemicals which are required for sectors of biofuel, etc. So thank you once again for both the speakers, and thank you, Umesh ji, for the session. It was a wonderful one, and I hope all of you will be able to join in the second session as well. Thank you.